Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Julie Smyth. Today's top stories. The Chief Medical Officer warns over Waterford's COVID rate. A man's in a serious condition after being attacked with a machete. And in sports, Sam Bennett says he never dreamed he'd ever win the final stage of the Tour de France. A decision on moving Waterford to level 3 COVID-19 restrictions could be taken this week. The Taoiseach says the situation in Waterford is being closely monitored. WLR's Sinead Ahern has this report.
Waterford, Louth and Donegal are the three counties that have been singled out as areas of concern. Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr Ronan Glynn says that 103 cases have been diagnosed in Waterford over the last fortnight. He said a week ago the incidence rate locally was 55 cases per 100,000 of population. It's now 89. Waterford continues to have the third highest rate in the country. Taoiseach Micheál Martin says increasing restrictions is not a decision that's taken lightly.
It is a significant decision to move up to level 3 for any county, so that will be carefully considered, and obviously NEFIT will advise government in relation to those counties and the broader situation.
Government official Liz Canavan says there are worrying trends in most counties.
We are currently at level 2 of the framework nationally, and we want to stay there or improve to level 1. We don't want to go the other way. To keep all of the businesses we care about open, we must all work together to stop the spread of the virus. That means meeting fewer people inside your home, limiting the number of people you meet outside your home as much as possible.
The Mayor of Waterford, Damien Geoghegan, CEO of the Council, Michael Walsh, the Garda Chief Superintendent, Pádraig Dunn, and Chief Officer of South East Community Healthcare, Kate Colleen White, have issued a joint statement saying we've a window of opportunity to bring this disease under control and keep Waterford at level 2 restrictions. They say it's time to double our efforts to stay safe and reminded people that COVID-19 can spread even if you've no symptoms. They appeal to the people of Waterford to maintain social distance and to limit the number of close contacts in the coming days.
A man is in a serious condition in hospital after being attacked with a machete at a house in Waterford overnight. Gardaí say they're investigating an aggravated burglary at a premises in Sanherblan Park at around 3 o'clock this morning. The victim, who's in his 30s, is being treated at University Hospital Waterford for serious but non-life-threatening injuries. He received a deep laceration to his thigh and kneecap. WLR's Aoife Kearns was at the scene.
Local residents expressed their shock at the incident. One resident that has been living in the area with 20 years said they've never seen the likes of it, and the area is generally at quite a state. One person said they were awake until 5 a.m. this morning. Gardaí are treating the incident as an aggravated burglary. The scene at Sanherblan Park, Waterford, was contained earlier today pending examination. No arrests have been made at present, and Gardaí are seeking witnesses who may have information with regards to the incident to contact Waterford Garda Station.
Waterford Council has hit back at claims that it's at fault for delays on the North Quays project. The local authority was defending itself after reports that the developer had blamed it for the hold-up. Planning permission was granted for the €400 million regeneration in July. The developer is Falcon Real Estate. However, the council has heard that a director of the company has been scathing of its work on the project. Fianna Fáil's Eddie Mulligan quoted Rob Cass's social media posts at the council's September meeting.
I see on public social media forums that Mr Rob Cass of Falcon Development is actually openly stating that the council are the reason that there is no boots on the ground in the North Quays. Are we the reason that there's no boots on the ground? And he specifically went on in public to state the 2 years of delays have been due to the non-fulfilment of council conditions since October 2018. And he said that the council haven't met contractual deliveries and in September have been 23 months late.
The council's planning director, Michael Quinn, dismissed the claims.
I think it's generally speaking not wise to comment on what Rob Cass says, quite frankly. As far as we're concerned, the project is proceeding according to plan, is going as fast as is possible right across the board, both on our side and on the part of the developer. There obviously have been challenges and issues along the way with a project of this scale, but the major big hurdle that we're facing is the final approval of funding, and we're hopeful that that will be coming very shortly.
Pubs in Waterford and every county except Dublin will open today for the first time in 6 months. So-called wet pubs are one of the final businesses to reopen after lockdown, but robust protective measures must be put in place. These include limited numbers, physical distancing, table service only and strict cleaning regimes. This man in Waterford City visited Tully's on O'Connell Street, which reopened this morning.
I was delighted to talk to old friends that I hadn't seen because of the restrictions on calling to people's houses. Yes, it was. I think we're slowly getting back to normal. I don't think they should close again because I think the speculation is purely speculation. And I think it's very important to have social gatherings with people to maintain a sense of normality through this unnormal times.
Waterford Council will seek a 15% hike in the local property tax. Councillors will hear tomorrow that the increase is required due to the unprecedented situation facing the local authority's finances thanks to the coronavirus pandemic. The council is facing a budget deficit of €2.2 million. The council meets tomorrow to decide what rate householders should be paying for the coming year, but Sinn Féin's Conor McGuinness says his party won't be supporting an increase.
We'll be adamant that we won't see any increase, that we won't support any increase in the effective rate of the property tax here in Waterford. Council finances are in bad repair, they're in disarray. We had a very striking figure presented to us with regard to council finances, and we're in for a rough time, and every council is in for a rough time.
A Waterford theatre director said he regrets a decision to post a video of a gathering in his home celebrating an awards win. The South Eastern Theatre Group won 3 awards at the Association of Irish Musical Societies Awards over the weekend, including Best Overall Show. David Hennessy told Damien Tiernan that there were 13 people at his house for the virtual screening of the awards, and they were wearing masks, keeping their distance and used hand sanitizer. David said the guards paid him a visit at around 9:30 and were satisfied that they were abiding by public health guidelines.
He asked me to explain what had happened. I said, it's an awards night. I said, I have a small gathering. I have 2 tables at the back. I said, 6 at each table, and there's me, my sister and my wife inside. I said, I have hand sanitizer, temperature gun, and they're wearing masks. I said, they took them off, I said, for photographs and stuff. So he said to me, no, if you're abiding by the regulations and safety guidelines, he said, well, then you're okay.
South Eastern Mountain Rescue are asking people to keep in mind that the evenings are getting shorter. It's after 2 walkers got lost in darkness above Cúmshingon last night. Emergency services were alerted shortly after 8, and Semmer sent out 3 search parties together with search dog Ziggy and his handler Mick. Visual contact was made with the walkers just before 10, and they were met by the first search party half an hour later. The pair were escorted back to their car and everyone was safely off the mountain by 11:30. And finally, 3 Waterford projects have been awarded funding of just under €70,000 under the Fisheries Local Action Group's scheme. The projects are all within the Waterford estuary and will benefit communities in Galtier, Craden and Cheek Point. The Craden Project Steering Group was the largest beneficiary, receiving just under €58,000. Ray McGrath gets €3,500 for his book Galtier Heritage Rambles, and the Cheek Point Development Group will receive €7,500 for the painting of the Lower Harbour Wall.
Sports News on WLR.
With Virgin Media Waterford. Want super fast broadband today? Drop into Virgin Media George's Street and take it home with you. Easy as that.
A very good afternoon from the Sports Desk. I'm Nigel Kelly. We will start with cycling and Sam Bennett, who says that winning the final stage of the Tour de France on the Champs-Élysées was the icing on the cake. He's become only the 5th cyclist in history to win on the Champs-Élysées while wearing the green jersey.
I have won in other Grand Tours, so I was gradually getting confidence in that. Okay, maybe one day I could win a stage in the Tour de France, but I never thought that I could get the Champs-Élysées, that was one really high up on the bucket list, but I never thought I could get that, and that's a dream come true. And then actually to do it in the green jersey, that's just the icing on the cake.
His father says that it's surreal to see him win the green.
Tonight and the last 3 weeks, they're just surreal, really. It's just phenomenal. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's hard to take it in, and to see Sam cross the line, and I think of all the disappointments he had down through the years, being hit head on by a car, lying on the ground when he came around and crying that his career was over even before it started, and to see him when he crosses the line tonight and the elation and the tears in his eyes is just phenomenal. Yeah.
Moving to soccer, where there are 2 more games in the Premier League this evening as Man City begin their campaign away to Wolves, who did the double over City last season. They'll be without their midfielder Ike Gundogan, however, as he has tested positive for coronavirus. He'll now self-isolate for 10 days in accordance with the Premier League and UK government protocol. That game kicks off this evening at 8:15. But before that, at 6, it's Aston Villa at home to Sheffield United. On to local affairs with soccer, and Waterford FC return to the League of Ireland this evening after a weekend off. Their last game saw them dominate St Pat's in a 3-0 thumping at the RSC. Tonight they travel to the Tallaght Stadium to take on table-topping Shamrock Rovers. Blues defender Timothy Sabawali says that having goalkeeper Brian Murphy between the sticks always provides security in defence.
Experiences is very, very good. Yeah, he obviously gives me a lot of good advice during the game, after the game, even before the game, collectively as a team. But it's good to have even just him being on a goal, coming out and catching the ball. Just know that safety is behind us the whole time. It's great to have him. It's great to have him.
The game kicks off in Dublin at 7 o'clock, and we'll have live commentary on WLR thanks to McConnell Toyota Waterford with Matt Keane and Ray Scott on duty. Elsewhere in golf, Bryson DeChambeau has won his first major golf title after a final round of 67 at the US Open. The American finished 6 shots clear of the rest of the field and was the only player under par for the week. DeChambeau has dramatically increased his muscle mass over the last year, and after the win paid tribute to his coach Chris Como.
Going through this body transformation, changing my whole golf swing, inspiring me to hit it farther as far as I can, and he ultimately has allowed me to have the confidence to go forward with that thought process, go forward and attack it and not be fearful of it.
And finally, in horse racing news, there's racing at Listowel and Fairyhouse this afternoon. The first in Listowel goes to post at 1:35 and the action at Fairyhouse gets underway from 10 to 3. Sports news on WLR is thanks to Virgin Media Waterford.